No shortage of news, I can tell you that much. Just a little late here at my house, so I'm only doing a couple videos for the day. Quick look surprised. You know how much I've talked about the state of Illinois. It is beyond bankrupt. The pension system is beyond massively underfunded. Cannot ever be funded, to be honest with you. Not that I'd want to lie to you anyways. But, so the city of Chicago, it's no shock to me that the new mayor, Rahm Emanuel, hey guys, I'm out, not running again, because he knows when it's time to jump ship, like I told you from the beginning. New mayor of Chicago wants state taxpayer bailout of Chicago pension debts. Well, listen, Mrs. Mayor, what's her name? Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Lightfoot, that's an interesting last name. Now that I have a Tesla, you can call me J Snip Heavyfoot. You know what I'm saying? Not Lightfoot. Although I do drive normal most of the time. Just kidding. So, if the state itself is a giant unfunded liability because of all of its pensions and all this crap it has under it, can it really balance the budget? Never seems to work. They just go further in debt. What makes you think that you could just add to that? Oh, well, since you guys are sinking already, let me just throw that over here. No, Rahm Emanuel left us in a phenomenal spot, so let me just throw that over there. Wonder if she's a Democrat, by the way. I think I kind of already know the answer, but I'm going to look because I have not looked. Lightfoot jumped to mayoral campaign. Lightfoot, born August 4th, 1962, is an American politician and lawyer serving as 56th and current mayor of Chicago. Before becoming Chicago mayor, Lightfoot worked in private legal practice as a partner at Mayer Brown and held various government positions in the city of Chicago. Most notably, she served as president of the Chicago Police Board and chair of the Chicago Police Accountability Task Force. She is a member of the Democratic Party. I almost, for a second I thought she was the Republican. As Lindsey Williams would say, not on your life, Republican Party. Pfft. Only a Democrat would say, my Democratic colleagues have left us with this unpayable debt. Let's just toss it to the state. The state will take care of it. Submitted by Ted Dabrowski and John Klinger of Wirepoints. It didn't take long for new mayor of Chicago Lori Lightfoot to propose a plan that would wash her hands of Chicago's pension crisis altogether. According to a recent report in Crain's, Lightfoot wants the state to, take over Chicago's pension debts and merge them with the other pension plans throughout the state. The move would make all state taxpayers responsible for paying down the city's debts. Could you imagine knowing full well in advance, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or nothing, independent, or just don't even identify with anything, and I'm going to make all these promises that I can't keep just so that I can get elected. Because when I'm elected, payoffs, pay to play, comes my way. And I'm going to walk away from here a multimillionaire, if I'm not already, of course, and most of them are not. So I'll make pension promises and all kinds of stuff. And then when it implodes, years from now, many years from now, when it implodes, I'll be long gone anyways. They'll just realize we have nothing left to do. We can't fix this problem. Let's just throw it on top of the state and let everybody pitch in on this. Could you imagine knowing you're going to do that in advance to people, to taxpayers, people of your state, just so that you little greedy bastard, whoever that may be, can make a few bucks in a pay-to-play situation, costing the state billions while you made a few million in your pay-to-play scandals, which most politicians do. That's what political office is, in case anyone didn't know that by chance. Welcome to the party. Welcome to 2019. That's what a politician typically is. I want to get into office to fill my back pocket with all the pay-to-play I can get. And I'll do anything to get it and sustain it. And then when the ship starts sinking, I leave and let somebody else take over. And I don't even care if it's my opposition party. It doesn't even matter to me. Which is why Rahm Emanuel has took off. I'm not going to run again. I'm not even going to attempt it. I did my job. I thank you very much. I helped the city so much, and I helped Barack Obama get his library thing down here and all that. Yep, museum, whatever. Anyways, the plan to shift city debts to the state would bail out the mayor from having to raise about $1 billion in additional taxes to pay for increasing pension costs by the year 2023. A massive tax hike is something she's desperate to avoid. But while Lightfoot may think the cost shift is a solution, it will only make things worse for the state. She should expect significant pushback from many sides. Start with downstate and suburban residents. Sure, their public safety pension funds would get consolidated under the state too, but it's the Chicago funds that are some of the biggest and worst funded, meaning most unfunded liabilities out of all the rest of the state. The 4 city-run funds are collectively funded at just 27% and face an official shortfall of $28 billion. Did you catch that? The 4 city-run funds are collectively only just a hair over 25% or 27%. A quarter funded. Hey guys, 75% more and we're there. In contrast, the 650 downstate pension plans are only 58% funded and have a shortfall of nearly $10 billion. The end result of any statewide pooling of pension funds will be a net bailout for Chicago. Non-Chicagoans aren't going to just accept yet another bailout of the city. Downstaters' most recent bailout of Chicago came when the state's new education funding formula locked in special subsidies for Chicago public schools. That included hundreds of millions in hold harmless funding, as well as $200 million plus annually to pay for the district's pension costs. The mayor can expect pushback from the rating agencies too. Illinois already has what Moody's Investor Service calculates as a $234 billion state pension shortfall. Joe, is that $250 billion? That's a big 10 for a good buddy. While the state's retiree health insurance fund has another gaping $73 billion hole. You add that together, and you're at $300 billion roughly of non-existent money that you need. We're not done yet, sorry. Adding $42 billion more, what Moody's reports as Chicago's true pension debt, may push the state's credit rating into, junk category. That's significant since no state in modern times has been rated junk. You remember Lindsey Williams? And he said his father in some state, same county or city in Florida. I wish I knew the name of it now. He said when he was younger, his father moved them over to Florida. Maybe I know he had at one point lived in Hollywood, Florida. I'm not sure if that was the same town. Dad bought into all the debt, bought into all the bonds, the county bonds. Yeah, earned some interest on that, and they went bankrupt, wiped it out, gone. See you. Have a nice day. Wonder how this is going to go. Just out of curiosity. Lightfoot's pension proposal might come as a surprise to some, given her comments last week to the Chicago Sun-Times. According to the paper, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said Friday she's willing to tackle Chicago's mounting, looming, all-consuming pension debt once and for all, even if it means risking her political future. And what's her plan? Can we just add it to the state? We're going to tackle this and deal with this once and for all, and we're going to fix this. What are you going to do? Can I throw that hot potato to the state and get rid of it? And if they accepted that somehow, she would be touted, I did it. I told you I would deal with this problem, and now it's the state's problem. But, it's still a problem, though. Yeah, but it's not mine anymore, it's the state's. So, my job is done. Have a nice day. Job is done, Mr. Service Manager. We cannot keep asking taxpayers to give us more revenue without the structural reforms that are fundamentally necessary to make our city and our state run better. Now is the time to act, she said. And by act, she means just hand it off to the state. Lightfoot has obviously given up on structural reforms. Her proposal does nothing to actually reduce the overwhelming debts of the city's pension funds. Instead, it appears her only goal is to socialize the costs across all state residents. That's not risking her political future. Making everyone else pay for the city's debts, if she can make it happen, is the easy way out. Few options. Lightfoot, the candidate, knew what a mess the city's finances were in. The city was already rated junk by Moody's when she took over, while CPS was 5 notches deep into junk, worse than even Detroit. But Lightfoot never signaled a plan for pension reform during her campaign. Her only commitment was that she would protect pensions. Quote, "First, we must start from the firm position that pensions are a promise and that protecting the retirement security of our public employees is imperative to maintaining a stable middle class and thereby our local economy." Now, if I'm a pensioner, I need to vote for her. I need to vote for her. All right, I want my pension. I put in my 20 years. In 20 years, I can get my pension. I need, it's my money and I need it now. 877 cash now. You better call somebody, because that pension may not be there. So she gives the big speech. Yeah, we got to protect the pensioners. Vote for me. Vote for me. Okay, I'm going to have to deal with this, guys. We don't have any money. It's never even going to kind of be able to raise the money. So my solution is to just hand it off to the state. That way, when you're pissed off with whatever the state does, you can't come yell at me as the mayor. Because if I would have had to have dealt with it, you'd have really been pissed off. Now, if the state's dealing with it, you could be quite a bit pissed off, but maybe not as pissed off as if you would be at me if I kept up with it. So now she's found that in the absence of reforms, the city is running out of options. Reamortizations, kicking debt payments further into the future, are getting pushback from both rating agencies and public sector unions alike. Pension obligation bonds, another kind of can kick that Rahm Emanuel pursued, have also run into opposition. Rating agencies, pension funds, and actuarial associations are calling POBs what they really are: a gamble with taxpayer dollars. City tax hikes aren't a solution either. Chicagoans are tapped out. City residents have been hit by an avalanche of state and local tax increases over the past several years, including the state's 2017 income tax increase and the biggest property tax hike in the city's history. Increasing taxes yet again to get the $1 billion needed for pensions could result in severe backlash against the mayor. Fixing things. Lightfoot's words to the Sun-Times are all the more disappointing considering the reforms she could have called for, a constitutional amendment to the Pension Protection Clause, changes to how the city doles out retirement benefits going forward, and tough cuts in upcoming contract negotiations with CPS and other labor unions. Instead, her desperate plan abrogates any responsibility for the city's largely self-inflicted retirement crisis, and more importantly, it leaves nobody better off. Despite all the tricks, Illinoisans, including Chicagoans, would still be under the same mountain of debt. Reforms, not can kicks, are the solution to the state's pension woes. If not, expect more and more Illinoisans to cut their share of retirement debt down to zero by leaving. Oh, you're going to tax me more? Oh, you're going to raise rates for that more? You're going to add a new fee? Oh, I'm out here. Gone. Have a nice day. Now, any revenue I was putting into your state is gone. You could either deal with the reforms or you can deal with us leaving. Another one of the states where people are fleeing pretty heavily. Take care.